But anyways, we might as well almost start this series how we ended it last year. Remco Evenepoel. I don't know how many episodes we were talking about this, but he's here again. Yeah, so recent article has shown that there is interest for Remco Evenepoel. There was a lot of talk about him almost every year, almost the double Olympic champion, world time trial champion. But yeah, there's two teams in the running apparently. Ineos Grenadiers, but they seem to be in the running every year for Remco, and Decathlon AG2R, which seems quite strange. Obviously, they're saying that he's not going to be signed for 2026. It is going to be for 2027 as his contract is still with Soudal Quickstep. But there is a bit of question mark over this now because there is no more Patrick Lefevre in the team. As we know, he retired last year. So does that have the sway? Mikel Landa staying with the team, so that's good. But it's an aging Mikel Landa as much as we all adore him. But Patrick, what do you make of this? Remco Evenepoel, is he just going to stay at Soudal Quickstep, or do you think that could be something that, I don't know, tempts him away? And let's just remind ourselves, allegedly he turned down a 10 million euro offer a year to join Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe last year and didn't do it.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like a big deja vu right now talking about Remco once again. Decathlon's a weird one. That's not the first name which was popping into my head, but they do really seem to be on a bit of a, I don't know, just an absolute hell-bent mission to really shake things up. And like I said, Paul Cesar, he's a huge talent for the future. It'd be interesting to see if Remco did go there, sort of how that dynamic works. Obviously, Remco's, 6 years his senior, so I reckon it'll be fine. But yeah, Decathlon's not the first one which comes to my mind. I mean, Ineos, I suppose, makes sense. They are still looking for that Grand Tour contender, and I don't think they have it at the moment. So they're still looking for that guy to, really compete for the podium or compete for the win of the Tour. I just think the problem is that even if they get Remco, I don't think he's a guaranteed Tour de France winner, because last year he was shown to not be up to the standard of Pogacar and Vingegaard. So you're basically just buying a guy for third place as opposed to, I don't know, like 7 for sixth place with Carlos Rodriguez, I suppose. But I guess from Remco's perspective, what does he want out of this? Does he think that joining Decathlon or the Ineos Grenadiers is a move up from Soudal Quickstep? Do they provide him with something that Soudal Quickstep doesn't? I don't think that Soudal Quickstep is necessarily a bad team for him. I can't think of an occasion where Soudal Quickstep have really done bad by him or done anything which has caused him to lose a race. I think they're a fine team for him and they've brought in riders to support him. I can understand why other teams want to buy him, but I wouldn't understand why Remco would want to leave Soudal Quickstep.
So you think he would kind of be fine staying, but I mean, if he did go to, let's say, Ineos Grenadiers, instead of having Louis Verake, having Mikel Landa, I mean, Landa was great last year in the Tour, let's be honest. 5th place. He was many times the last kind of non-podium rider there, or teammate on that front. But aging Landa, Jan Hurt left the team as well. That was quite a big blow in the mountains. They didn't seem to reinforce the team with more climbers. Like, you would have loved to have seen someone like Simon Yates join the team instead of going for Visma Lease Bike, for instance. And they have obviously gutted a lot of their classics team in favor of the Remco Evenepoel project. So if he does leave the team, the team's nowhere. They're basically, I don't know, headless chicken in a way. But what does it do for him? If he went to Ineos Grenadiers, he would be on Pinarello as well. I'm not a complete bike tech person. Is the Pinarello time trial setup better? I mean, he's won world titles, he's won Olympic titles on the Specialized. Decathlon do not ride Specialized, they ride Van Rysel. I think if you've been with that brand so long, and that was one of the reasons why we thought maybe the Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe thing could happen. And yeah, it's all these bikes, they're all top echelon in terms of their spec and everything, but it's also the personal contract with the brand, things like that. We've seen Specialized has personal brand deals with Contador in the past and Peter Sagan. So yeah, I think that has some influence on it as well. And I don't think Ineos are going to switch to Specialized for Remco Evenepoel.
Although I swear I saw somewhere that something about Ineos switching to Specialized if Remco did go there. which
Okay,
would
I'm
be a
wrong there.
massive.
I'm wrong. Just disregard what I said about Ineos.
So that would be a huge thing though for such a long-term partnership, which goes back to the Team Sky era of the
Yeah.
sport as well, to kind of break that off. Just for a rider who, like, no offense, Remco is fantastic. He's a world champion in both disciplines. He's an Olympic champion, but for a guy who isn't a guaranteed Tour de France winner at the moment in the current era, seems like that'll be like a big switch to break ties. But also, you just don't know. Remco might, it's all to do with not just the bikes and the team around him. It's all it's all the bad behind the doors stuff as well that we as fans don't see about all the, the work that goes in behind the scenes and the culture of the team and stuff like that. And you just don't know whether if Remco prefers, or Remco's on low, if he did start to fall out of favour with Soudal Quickstep for whatever reason, with Lefebvre not there, maybe he doesn't like it as much. There's a big thing of culture and just actually liking where you are and that having an influence as to whether you want to go somewhere or not.
I definitely think Ineos can match whatever offer Soudal Quickstep put on the table for him money-wise, so I don't think it's a money thing. And if you turn down Red Bull Bora-Hansgrohe, Quickstep, if they really want to keep Remco Evenepoel, they just need to sign sign more riders that can help him. And Ian Van Wilde is also up for grabs as well. So if he disappears because he's trying to get out of the shadow of Remco Evenepoel, then there's going to be some question marks as well, because who do they have left really? James Knox, Matteo Cattaneo, aging Mikel Landa. They didn't sign Rafa Majka, which I was far too enthusiastic about last year. So I don't know, in terms of on the market, who could you see them snapping up to keep Remco Evenepoel and get stronger chances for themselves as well?
Yeah, I guess you mean in terms of climbing talent, I suppose. Adam Yates, obviously very good for Pogacar, but maybe Yates is looking for more of his own personal opportunities. So whether he'd be happy going somewhere else, because Yates has refound himself as a big GC contender, and maybe he's like, okay, I don't want to go be a domestique anymore. I want to kind of go do my own thing. I would say Leipowitz, but part of me thinks that as a German rider, Red Bull Bora-Hansgrohe and him are going to come to an agreement to keep him on. He is pretty much the biggest German talent. I'd be quite surprised if he moved. Kelderman, possibly, from Visma Lease bike. Probably no. Wout Poels will probably stay. Walter, Dunbar, Ben Tullett. Actually, am I just listing the Visma Lease bike team at the moment? That's kind of feels like what I'm saying.
The point is, there's quite a few options that they could go for if they get Adam Yates. I think Adam Yates has had his moment in the sun. He's found this niche of being a super domestique. And if they got him, the guy who was the right-hand man for Tadej Pogacar, I would throw any money at getting Adam Yates if I was Soudal Quickstep. That could be the guy. Pure climber, has the knowledge of UAE, was used phenomenally last year. It looks like we've just created our own wish list here. But I think they need a rider like him or some good climbing talent. But as you said, there's quite a few there. Decathlon du Tour,
what do you think he would go there?
I mean, at this point, we're interested in signing Remco Evenepoel if we can just throw ourselves into, if anyone can just wish anything.
I'll pay you 2 coffees a week. That's all I can offer you at the moment. And yeah, who knows where Remco end up going. I mean, this saga will continue. Like, we will continue talking about this next year as well, unless something gets signed up this year, because like you say, this isn't a deal to be done this year for next year. These are pre-talks for next year to be happening in 2027 at the move. So
what a way to start a 2026 transfer series by talking about something that's not even this year.